I'm starting my mock exam 7. It consists of 180 questions. So I'll be making 2 or 3 videos like 60 questions each. Um, let's start with the exam. Now, my fingers are crossed because I'm doing very poorly in my exam. Although I read online that 65% is the good number, but still I have to like score at least 80-85% so that I'm double sure that I'll be able to nail my exam. I'll be appearing for my exam on 18th of December, early morning 8 o'clock. I have I have opted for in-person exam because I read some review online. People were saying that there was an issue with the application on which they gave their exam. So it was better for me to go to the center. It's not that far from my place. So hopefully, yeah, just fingers crossed and hoping for the best. Let's start with my exam. Yeah. In the initial stages of a project development, the team leader realizes that the current team lacks essential expertise for the project's demand. With external hiring off the table due to project constraints and the budget being tight, the leader must find a solution internally. Okay. What is the first action the team leader should take? Offer a skill sharing initiative among team members, adjust the project's objective to match the team's existing skill, allocate additional project time for skill development, utilize ongoing tools of monitoring, secure necessary resources. So, as per me, there should be a skill sharing initiative among the team members. Allocating the additional project time for skill development. So basically, we have a problem here. The problem is that the team lacks the expertise, and the solution for this will be skill sharing initiative. So, as I'm going through like many online sites and people's reviews, I came across only one thing that we should be able to break down the questions. If we are going to break down the questions in a manner that correct answer could relate to that breakdown, then we'll be able to like, do a very good job in our exam. So I'm just working on breaking down the questions. Hopefully, this approach works. Project manager notices discrepancy between the team and stakeholder regarding risk management as the project progresses. Okay. Regarding risk management, team and stakeholders. Initially, everyone agreed on the plan, but drifting approaches have since emerged. When is the best time to reassess risk to align the team members and stakeholders at every steering group gathering, at the project retrospective, when updating the risk documentation, and throughout the project. Risk is something that should be reassessed at every point in time, and it should be identified throughout the project life cycle. So there is no fixed timing or fixed process wherein we should be identifying the risk or reassessing it. It is throughout the project life cycle. In an organization where strict adherence to the guidelines and protocol is part of the corporate culture, a project manager is attempting to implement a flexible, agile methodology for an internal software development initiative. Despite providing training, the team's performance has not met the expectations in terms of efficiency. What should the project manager do to enhance the efficiency? Encourage and monitor the team to prioritize achieving project outcomes. Pinpoint pivotal team members who can motivate the rest to work more efficiently. Adhere to the organizational guidelines and offer further agile methodology to the team. Request a project postponement from upper management to secure additional time. Uh, I think fourth is not an option because we cannot postpone our project. Pinpoint the pivotal team member who can motivate the rest to work more efficiently. No. Adhere to the organizational guidelines and offer agile methodology training to the team and encourage and monitor the team to prioritize achievement. First and third is I'm feeling that first and third are good options, but this third one, since we are adhering to the organizational guidelines and we are offering the agile methodology training to the team, I think this can help the team. Rest others, they are not solving the issue. The issue is that they are lacking the by providing training. The team has no expectation in terms of efficiency. While managing a significant enhancements of an existing product, a project manager discovered that the resources previously allocated to the project are being redirected to the project deemed higher priority by the organization. Okay. What should the project manager do? Conduct an impact analysis to determine the repercussion on the project, explore options for reducing project scope, implement resource leveling, adjust the distribution of strategic resources, gather and review the documentation. So we should do the impact analysis. A project manager receives a new requirement from a key stakeholder which appear to be of a minor task. What should the project manager do first? Send a change request to CCB, proceed with the creation of design, conduct an impact analysis to assess the potential effect on the project, work on maintaining and managing the involvement of the concerned stakeholder. Okay. Even if it is a minor task, impact analysis has to be done because we don't know what will happen. A project manager notices a team member struggling with their assigned task, which could jeopardize the project timeline and impact the team morale. What should the project manager do in this case? Reassign the team member's task to other team member to ensure the timeliness is met? No. Privately discuss the challenge with the team member to identify the root cause and provide support. Conduct a full team meeting to address the struggling team member's performance. Allow the team member to continue working independently and avoid undermining their confidence. Private discussion should be there. During an equipment procurement process, stakeholder expresses concern over learning after learning that the equipment specification differed from what they initially expected. Upon investigation, the project manager realizes this misalignment stems from changes in requirement that were not clearly communicated. What should the project manager do to ensure that stakeholders remain aligned with procurement outcomes? Allow the stakeholder to adapt to the changes when they see the finalized equipment procurement. Establish a process regularly updating stakeholders on changes to requirement, their implication. Proceed with the procurement process and address the stakeholder concern after the equipment arrives. Require stakeholders to review and sign off all procurement decision to confirm alignment. So they are saying the equipment specifications are differing what they initially expected. When the project manager investigated it further, it states that misalignment stems from changes in requirement that were not clearly communicated. So there was a communication issue, communication problem, and therefore the issue has arisen. What should the project manager do to ensure stakeholders remain aligned with procurement outcomes? So, as per me, we should establish a process for regularly updating the stakeholders on changes to requirements and their implications. Implication, obviously. We cannot proceed, review and sign off. Our project manager is tasked with leading the setup of a new corporate website. The client emphasizes that website must outperform their main competitors' online presence in terms of user engagement and conversion rates. The client wants the project team assembled and to commence work without a delay. The client wants the project team assembled. The client wants the project team assembled and to commence work without delay. What should the project manager do? Establish the project scope with stakeholder and determine the process for formal acceptance. Begin crafting the resource management plan. Apply expert judgment. Use organizational to forecast effort and budget. Analyze the competitor's website to understand features and design element and the project should consider. I think we should analyze the competitor's website first before doing anything else. During the phased implementation of a new fleet management system to enhance a city's public transportation, the transportation operations team raises concerns about their ability to manage and maintain the system effectively. How should the project manager address this situation? Proceed with the implementation as planned, focusing on addressing the team coming after the system is fully operational. Postpone the implementation. Delegators may provide additional training for the operation team to enhance their readiness and confidence in managing the new system. Delegate responsibility for addressing it. Senior transfer on share accounting. Postpone. Proceed. I think we should provide an additional training for the operations team to enhance their readiness and confidence in managing a new system. A project manager takes over a critical project in a new company and observes that the project progress is lacking. Okay, the quality of work is not up to the expected standards, and there seems to be lack of enthusiasm among the team. So there is a time issue, there is the quality issue, and the team is lacking the enthusiasm. Deadlines are consistently missed, affecting overall project timeline. What should the project manager do? Organize a team to address the concerns regarding the timeliness and quality of work. Bring in an expert project coordinator to motivate and guide the team members. Shift to a more flexible project management method and enhance efficiency. Evaluate and adopt a leadership model that resonates well with team dynamic. Okay, so first and fourth uh, is good. In first, we are organizing a team meeting to address the concern regarding the timeliness and quality of work. And in fourth, we are evaluating and adopting to a leadership that resonates well with the team dynamics. Okay. I think we can obviously work on timeliness and quality of work later, but if there is some problem with the team, we should uh, adopt leadership approach that resonates well with the team's dynamic. And after that, obviously, team meeting can happen. But first, we need to yeah, first we need to see how we can motivate our team. If because the highly motivated team is the best in doing the work, so the basic problem could be with the team, and then the rest of the things could be obviously taken care. During backlog refinement, new initiated agile project, the team struggled to finalize estimations due to missing crucial details. What is the best action to for the project man to take to resolve this issue? Okay, if there is one newly initiated project and they are unable to do the estimation due to missing the crucial details. Okay, what is best action for the project? Assign the team member to proceed with estimation based on assumption and revise them later during sprint planning. Facilitate a meeting between the product owner and case owner to gather the missing details and clarify the requirement. Take over the responsibility of refining to ensure organization available files. Postpone the backlog refinement. No, I think we should meet with the product owner and stakeholder and gather any missing information which is there. A company begins a major construction project. The project manager has been appointed to spearhead this initiative. Following the development of an initial product backlog and the assignment of team members, preparation for the project launch is underway. What is a critical step for project manager to take prior to the project kickoff? Ensure all plans are integrated and assess the team skill in relation to project demand, fine tune the backlog and pinpoint. Create a risk register of high level. I think assessing the team skill in relation to the project demand. This is the key thing. On an agile project, 60 story points were expected to be completed in the previous sprint. However, the SPI was calculated to be scheduled performance index was calculated to be zero point 0.8 by the project manager. Based on this information, how many story points has the team completed during the 80% of 60? 48. In the midst of organizing a large-scale international conference, our project manager notices that the delivery of custom event material, which are vital for the conference branding, is significantly delayed. This delay poses a risk to the event's timeline and potentially compromising the marketing effort. It was later found that the responsible team member had attempted to contact the supplier via email with no success. Which document would most effectively prevent such an issue from occurring again in the future? Escalation process, communications management plan, statement of work, and stakeholders. I think communication management plan. A project manager leading a crucial software upgrade for a financial institution. You are informed that a key software engineer integral to the project critical part intend to resign immediately due to personal reasons. This situation poses a significant risk to the project schedule and quality of the software being developed. What is the most appropriate action for the client to take in this situation? Reassign the task, engage the departing engineer in knowledge transfer, and document critical work before the departure. Offer the engineer additional commitment to retain the eventual project. The project I think engage with the department engineer in a knowledge transfer process. Document the critical work before the departure. During the execution of a high-profile marketing campaign, a project manager is notified that the launch of the campaign's central website is at risk due to unforeseen technical issues with the hosting platform, which is managed by an external service provider. The delay poses a significant risk to the campaign success and could negatively affect the client marketing position. Project manager notified the launch of the campaign central website due to technical issue with the hosting platform. Okay, there is an unforeseen risk, technical issue. Okay. How should the project manager address this critical issue to ensure the marketing campaign remains on track? Initiate a crash scheduling technique to expedite other aspects of the campaign that are not dependent on the website launch. Direct the technical team to develop an interim solution or platform to maintain the project timeline until the additional issues resolved. Collaborate closely with the technical team to detail the issue and engage the service provider directly to expedite the resolution. Update the risk management plan to better identify instrument vendors. I think collaboration is required in this particular scenario with the technical team to detail the issue and engage the service provider. That it, I think. Yeah. During a large scale digital transformation project and about updating an organization IT infrastructure, the project manager noticed the decline in team performance and morale as the project shifted from planning to implementation. The team accustomed to traditional project methods struggling with new agile based approach introduced for the implementation phase, leading to confusion and resistance. What action should the project manager take to ensure the project stays on track while also addressing the team concern? Encourage the team to continue with the agile approach without additional support. I think this is not a good option. Initiate comprehensive agile training program to provide the team with the skills and knowledge. Arrange for one-on-one meeting with the team member to empower individual concern. Mixed method approach that gradually integrates agile practices into the team's existing workflow to ease the transition. I think mixed method, or it could be training program to provide the team with the skills and knowledge necessary for successful implementation. But in this, we are paying more attention to the successful implementation, not on our team member. So I think this will help the team if they are struggling with something. In the midst of overseeing the construction of a new community center,
The project manager realizes that the project budget at completion is far exceeding initial estimate due to unexpected material cost and labor rate. This escalation threatens the project financial viability and stakeholder satisfaction. What action could the project manager do first to address this financial concern effectively? Conduct a detailed analysis to identify the causes of the budget overrun. Update the budget forecast to reflect the new realities, examine the project schedule to estimate how these cost variance will affect the completion date, engage with the stakeholder to renegotiate project scope and expectation in light of the new budget. I think we need to conduct a detailed analysis for the project occurring first. In response to emerging environmental sustainability standards, project manager overseeing the development of an eco-friendly manufacturing process to align the project's objective and deliverables. The introduction of these standards could significantly impact the project's direction, necessitating adjustment to ensure compliance and maximize the project's contribution to the company's sustainability goals. What should the project manager do first to ensure the project alignment with the new sustainability standard? Conduct a stakeholder meeting to gather input on how the new standard will influence project objectives and deliverable update the project budget to account for potential costs associated with meeting the new standard. Assign a team member to research the new sustainability standard. Meet with project team to analyze sustainability standards and assess their impact on project objectives and deliverables. I think meet with the team should be the answer. The team and the nation obviously. During the implementation phase or a phase of a renewable energy plant construction project, the project team identifies several risks and could hinder the project progress. These risks include delays in the delivery of a solar panel for, from an overseas supplier, the underperformance of a newly installed energy storage system, and regulatory hurdle with the local government bodies. Okay. What is the most immediate action the project manager should take to address these emerging risks? Review and update the project risk management plan to include the newly identified and developed specific mitigation strategies. Initiate discussion with the supplier, energy, and local government authorities. Organize a risk assessment session with the project team and relevant stakeholders to evaluate and prioritize the risk. Implement corrective action for each identified based on the predefined risk response strategies and the project plan. Uh, I think all the answers are very good. Implementing the corrective action for each identified risk on predefined risk response strategies in the project plan, it is also a good option. But I don't know, first feels like that it is the complete answer to all the thing, because as per the PAMBA, if there is a risk, we need to update the risk management plan, basically to log this log these risks into the risk register, and then develop specific mitigation strategies. First and fourth, I'm liking both of them. Let's go with the first. Upon being appointed to oversee a groundbreaking environmental sustainability project, the project manager starts with showcasing the product advantages and strategic to key stakeholder in the showcasing project advantages. three elements are essential to potential challenges that could affect the realization of the project. The strategies are mainly project and benchmarks. Recently assigned to spearhead an agile software development project, a project manager faces challenges with the project progress stemming from ambiguities in the product specification. Okay, what is the most effective strategy for the project manager? Will clarify the specification and facilitate smoother development. Schedule a joint review session with the development team. Ambiguities and design specification collaborative. Direct the development team to schedule with the best interpretation. Assign a team member. Focus on completing. Schedule a joint review session. And taking charter for mid-stage infrastructure upgrade project or project manager encounters a crucial technical hurdle that stalls progress. The issue at hand is complex and the team currently assigned lacks the specific expertise needed to address it. As the original technical leads are no longer available, the client is concerned that the delay could seriously impact the project delivery timeline. What action should the project manager take first? Arrange the immediate hiring of external expert to address the technical issue, conduct a detailed review of the issue with the current team to explore potential solution collaboratively, escalate the issue to the senior manager, reassign the project resources, conduct a detailed review. In the critical final phase of an urban redevelopment project, an influential stakeholder proposes an enhancement to the public spaces. While potentially enriching the project's impact, is projected to extend the timeline by an additional 2 weeks by potentially and to the public spaces. Propose an enhancement which will extend the project timeline by additional critical path. What action should the project manager take first to address this late stage requirement? Consult the project change management plan to evaluate the procedure for handling late requests. Conduct an impact analysis to understand the implication of the request to change on the project timeline and communicate and to negotiate or compromise at project current scope and deadline and investigate options for reallocating the resources. I think we should conduct an impact analysis first. But it says late stage request. So I'm not sure is there any process for change for this in the change management plan and communicate with the stakeholder for negotiation. Project current final phase of redevelopment project.
अभी अल्ट्रासाउंड तो एक बात की सबसे बेहतर अल्ट्रासाउंड होगा ना तो जो ये अल्ट्रासाउंड आजकल है इसके भी तो अल्ट्रासाउंड होता है ना मेरा
Leading a complex infrastructure project that integrate new technology across several international locations, a project manager must investigate uh, project manager must navigate interaction with local government official, international regulatory agencies, project owner, engineering team, and future operators of the industry. What pivotal steps should the project manager take to assure effective communication and collaboration among these diverse stakeholders? Developed a tailored communication plan that addresses the unique needs and preferences of each stakeholder group. Investigate the prevalence for insight. Implement medical potential. Conduct a thorough stakeholder to understand their interest and expectation. Leading a new technology across the international location. Project members navigate interaction with okay, he need to take care. What pivotal steps should the client to take on this first stakeholder? I think first and fourth, I like both the options. Tailored communication plan should be, and if we says uh, here we are talking about communication. The fourth one is saying what we should do first. First step should be will be to conduct a thorough analysis. But since we are talking about what will be the effective communication collaboration, then I think I should go with the first. Assuming leadership of a project transitioning to agile, a project manager plans to introduce a team to Scrum. To facilitate this transition, a training session is organized and clarify how Scrum artifacts will
supplant conventional project management tool, particularly concerning project scheduling. What should the project manager indicate as the replacement for traditional project schedule within the Scrum framework?
मतलब आपने जो जो स्टैंड में होता है वो
Sprint backlog and product backlog.
तो वो कह रही है कि भाई वैसे मर्जी है पर बस हाँ समझ गया मैं
Schedule. What should the project manager indicate as the replacement for the traditional project manager
हाँ
within the
लेकिन इसमें
Scrum framework?
ये क्या होता है कि जो जिस टाइम पे ये इनका जैसे आज तीन
Scrum
दिन चल रहा है
framework.
ओके तो जब तक 3 दिन चल जाएगा तो एंड एंड पे
Scrum.
है ना तो फिर वो नहीं 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 मैं
Scrum.
ये दूसरा है
Scrum.
वो
Scrum.
अब जैसे कल जाएगा तो मुझे नहीं पता कि कल मीटिंग का क्या टाइम है लेकिन उससे भी पता चल जाता है कि किस टेंडर है ये सब देखते हैं सभी मिलके वो एक नाम चढ़ जाता है क्योंकि उस ड्यूरेशन में जो जिस टाइम पे अपन का एडमिट होता है ना उसमें कॉन्टिन्यूटी सीरियल नंबर होता है हाँ मेरा भी इस टेंडर में ही था ना जब मेरा जो वाला जो एडमिट हुई थी ना जिसमें तो इसके अंदर ही था मतलब कि मेरा
Agile.
एक
Scrum.
सीसी में
Scrum.
तो उसे फॉलो करना है लेकिन मतलब मैं तो यही सजेस्ट करूंगा भाई अगर वो बोल रही है तो हाँ तो चला जाइए ठीक है और ये डाउनलोडिंग प्रो का उसने बोला कि हालांकि ये जो टेस्ट है स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट है ये कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट नहीं होता इसके बाद जो टेस्ट कराने पड़ते हैं उससे कंफर्म होता है कि हाँ क्या सही में है कि नहीं है तो कह रही कि होप फॉर द बेस्ट की भाई लाइन है ना फॉल्स पॉजिटिव हो जाएगी कि भाई गलत स्क्रीनिंग हुई है या कुछ भी स्क्रीनिंग में कुछ भी हुआ है ये करके
Review and
क्योंकि इसके
sprint
बाद तू पढ़ेगा ना नीचे
retrospective.
तो प्रॉपरली तो उसमें देखेगा तो पढ़ेगा भी तो उसमें लिखा हुआ है कि इसके बाद और भी टेस्ट कराने पड़ते हैं पता है तुझे कि भाई यार तू सब ध्यान दिया चीज़ों पे तू ऐसे लगे कि लापरवाही करी तूने यार करा क्यों नहीं पढ़े लिखा होने का पता ही है क्या भाई तेरे जब रिपोर्ट में लिखा हुआ है रिपोर्ट में सब कुछ लिखा हुआ
Product
है मैं
backlog
लेके
and
भाई
sprint
वन ईयर
product
ट्वेंटी लिखता हूँ
increment.
उसमें सारे
Scrum
उसमें
artifacts.
लिखा हुआ है कि भाई दिस इज द स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट फॉर द कंफर्मेटरी उसके बाद आप उसको कंफर्म कराने के लिए दो तीन टेस्ट होते हैं और उसने मुझसे यही बोला कह रही कि जब कोई और वो ना कराए तो समझ में आता है यार मतलब उसको तो कराना चाहिए रिपोर्ट तो पढ़ी होगी उसने मैंने कहा मेरे को आर्टिकल से पता है ना नॉन सिंड्रोम क्या होता है डॉक्टर ने मुझे बताया भी काउंसिल मतलब बताना चाहिए ना मुझे डॉक्टर को डॉक्टर ने बताया कि मैंने कहा जब तक उसको पता चला कोई डॉक्टर चेंज होते हैं मैंने कहा वहाँ जाके वो ट्रीटमेंट कराया अब उसने जाके
As a
बताया
part
अब
of the
मेरे को
integration plan,
कि
project
इसको
is
नॉन सिंड्रोम का
independent on external payment gateways,
कह रही है कि ये
which poses a risk if these systems face downtime. So, when the launch of a new e-commerce platform aimed at enhancing customer account integration, the project independent on external payment risk. What essential action should the project manager take to safeguard the process success? Conduct a regular meeting with the external party, implement a phased integration starting with node. Assess the risk associated with external downtime, establish contingency plan, develop robust user acceptance. Usual just integration plan. I think we need to regularly
बाकी
assess
ये
the
वाला जो
risk.
है जो तुमने कराया है पोर्टेबल वो है
Our
ना
project
ये
team is
मैं
pushing
अपना करता
through to
रहूँगा
achieve an important deadline.
तो
However,
बाद
due
में
to
मुझे
the
कोई नहीं बताता है कौन
necessary
टेस्ट कौन सा
time
होता
the
है
nature of the collaborative
हाँ तो
team
है ना वो
sprint
जब
has
वो जो
significantly
ये
dwindled. The lack of
ये
informal
हर हर
interaction
एप्लीकेशन
has
में
made it
चलेगा
difficult for team to bond or
सीरीज है
appreciate each other's work contribution.
क्योंकि
What
ज़्यादातर
measures
वो
should the
बना के
project
देता है
manager take to
वही
ensure the
सर्टिफिकेट
team's
मिलते हैं या अपना
cohesion
जो मैनेजर सोचता है कि ये
in
करो
this
ये
remote
ये सब तो उसी
working session? Schedule
मतलब
mandatory daily virtual check-ins
मैं तो
to
भाई
monitor progress and
ये
ensure everyone
दिमाग
remains
की
focused. Organize a
उसकी
virtual team
टेस्ट
building event that
ये
engage
टेस्ट
in non-work related
ये
experience, strengthen their
और उसमें
connections, focus on
तीन
rewarding
तीन लेवल
individual
के
for the
टेस्ट हैं
motivation
अलग अलग
and
सारे
reduce communication skills. I think we should
ये वाले
organize a
सबसे
virtual team
अलग है
building. Leading
चल
a
पता नहीं
project that integrates a new software
क्या
IT across offices into different zones, a project manager must
पता
enhance
नहीं क्या है
collaboration between the software and the operation team in light over 12 hours apart. What measures can the project manager ensure efficient teamwork to continue? Schedule overlapping, no, implement asynchronous communication tool and process to allow team to share updates and resolve them efficiently despite the time limit. Rotate work hours between the two. Assign a single point of I think communication tool.
हाँ ये तो
When the last stage of project unexpectedly exceed the timeline, how might the application of agile principle offer improvement over traditional project management technique? Agile framework allows frequent progress reviews and adjustment to priorities, enabling team to focus on delivering the most critical outcome despite delays. Agile principle enforce strict adherence to predefined schedules. No, Agile principle replace formal progress reporting with informal discussion review. Overall, increasing Agile, I think first. Hmm. Navigating a multinational project, the project is a challenge with orchestrating communication across a team, spans several continents, aiming to keep the project aligned with its milestone and ultimate goals. What proactive measures should the project manager implement to ensure seamless communication among a culturally diverse project team? Rotate the team? No. Use real-time video conference? No. Establish a unified communication platform and set clear guidelines for its usage across all. Focus communication efforts on team member in region with the highest level of project action. I think. I think a real-time video conference accessibility to ensure that all team members actively participating in discussion. Since they span over several continents and uh, time issue is not mentioned here, and proactive measure to implement and ensure seamless among a culturally diverse project team. I think we use a real-time video conference to ensure that all team are actively participating in discussions. I think. I think this is the option. Although I like the third also.
Hi Bhavna, how are you? हाँ bro, बताओ ना.
Upon leading a project focused on launching a high-tech consumer product, to discover that opportunity to optimize task assignments based on team members' unique strength and current workload. The original task allocation threatens to prolong the project by 2 weeks beyond the intended schedule. What action should the project manager consider to enhance project efficiency and adhere to the timeline? Project manager consider to enhance project efficiency and adhere to the timeline. What
हाँ bro, बताओ.
team member unique strength and current original task allocation and then performance. Assign a hybrid, mostly number quality and speed, redistribute tasks based on team's expertise and availability to balance workload and maximum. I think just redistribute the task. Uh, task with managing and analyzing. Let's just follow that approach which I told. Let me just read the answers first and then question. Incorporate compliance checkpoint into the iterative review process to ensure standards are met throughout the project lifecycle. Convert the agile process to a hybrid model by integrating waterfall compliance review at the end of each phase. Delay compliance assessment until the project stages to avoid disrupting the agile workflow. Assign a compliance officer to review all agile delivery before they are submitted for agile for feedback. I think first. So we are saying the task with managing an agile project with an organization traditionally accustomed to waterfall method of project management, challenge of aligning the project and function. What is most effective action to for ensuring the project adherence to organization went to the iterative review to ensure standard management website. Okay. Conduct regular stand-up meeting to review progress and clarify any question about the requirement. Assign a single team member to act as the point of contact. Create detailed task document for assignments and resume. May minimize the frequency of meeting to reduce potential distraction in the team performance. I think conduct a regular stand-up. While advancing a software development project, it became apparent that tasks were not completed as intended due to misunderstanding on the team member. This concern led to significant. We should conduct a daily stand-up meeting and review the process and clarify any questions. Focus on completing the current without making change to ensure deadlines are met and address the inefficiencies after this point company. Assign a team member to get more detail from the team and present a summary to the team during the meeting. Conduct a retrospective with the team and check on cause and develop solution for the inefficiency. Request the team member adapt their workload to align with the team's process to avoid disruption. I think conduct a retrospective. Leading a high priority project with a tight deadline, a project manager encounters feedback at the end of a sprint that one of the team member is facing. Encounters feedback at the end of one of the team members inefficiencies in workflow. How should the planner respond to optimize project outcome and address the team down? Okay, sprint. After the sprint, we do a retrospective line. So we need to conduct a retrospective to identify causes and develop solution for these inefficiencies. Request a private meeting with the senior manager to define their leadership and highlight the previous successes in the conduct a stakeholder engagement session to address concerns, provide transparency on progress, and guide expectations moving forward. Focus entirely on accelerating project progress to create clarity and purpose. Delegate strong power communication to a team and concentrate on the critical aspect of the project. I think focus on these two are not conduct stakeholder engagement and address concern, provide and add expectation going forward. Request private and highlight the key successes. I think conduct a stakeholder engagement session. A project manager experienced in utilizing a scope and highlight disaster rescuing the project that generated significant budget planning and I think additional delays occur, leading to dissatisfaction among the stakeholder who then requires the senior manager for change in project leadership and the project manager team to respond to. I think second is the good. Encourage the strategists to adapt their style to more work group setting and balanced interest. They can be managers speaking directly to ensure participate. Facilitate structured distribution, such as round table forum to ensure assignment I think third, I mean, in managing state marketing campaigns, the team development is the strategy that goes with the design of group setting platforms to work consistently alongside campaign managers have limited team interaction. We should use round robin format so that everyone has the opportunity to contribute. Proceed with the schedule to build the stakeholder organization to work which now a project manager outlined the initial shortly to the project reach and it is from and community considered mission and the solution should obviously conduct a meeting schedule when opportunity to discuss project provide information and something organize to discuss project assign smaller settings to implementation for a high stake innovation building sessions.
and then we
Initiate a round of intensive planning session to break down and supply to many
and then we
propose a
say
phased approach to remind and release program functionality and distant practices. Facilitate a backlog review with the product and team to prioritize tasks based on their impact on project goals and performance and decline to assess the plan. I think product owner should be involved. Critical healthcare IT project within the confines of a strict deadlines and a set of budget, a project manager finds that a substantial project portion of a project task are still in the backlog with very few in progress or completed. What is the plan undertake to ensure the planning? Facilitating backlog review with the product owner and team to prioritize tasks based on their impact on project goals and schedule an emergency meeting with the entire board to review operational details, share comprehensive update documents of the project detail for the board member to review, and then conduct one-to-one session with the uninformed board to bring them up to speed, revise the communication to include periodic update tailored to the board's requirement and preferences. While updating the project board on the latest development of the groundbreaking technology, project or project manager discovered that some board members were not aware of a critical component of the project. What is the primary best step to ensure all board members are accurate? I think we should revise the communication plan. Adjust the meeting schedule periodically, different timelines, promote inclusivity online, introduce asynchronous communication to complement existing loyalty member to stay updated and contribute if they can. Foster smaller time when encourage team member to submit progress updates online. I think this asynchronous communication different continents. Team members are spread over different continents. A project manager faces the challenge that when team members is unable to regularly attend the scheduled project meeting due to their location. This situation has led to some team members questioning the receipt of these meetings, which started to affect the project progress and the quality of performance. So, should the project manager employ to address this issue and ensure the project stays on track. Uh, Tasks should be defined at a level where their completion can be accurately estimated and assigned to a responsible individual or team. Tasks should be divided to a level where each activity can be completed within a day or maximum granular. Tasks should be defined at a level that mirrors a major milestone to simplify track. Tasks should be defined to the lowest possible level to ensure no detail is missing during execution. I think this. In planning major software upgrade for financial project, manager is in the process of developing the project work breakdown structure. At what detail should the project manager define tasks within the WBS? Project alignment session decision making by encouraging team member to contribute ideas for the streamline communication by ensuring the role empowering by fostering a sense of ownership aligning individual contribution with broader goal time management by efficiently utilizing the team to delegate at a project alignment session project manager invites member of the team to discuss the impact of their specific task on the project success and these tasks meet the client strategic which leadership quality is okay.
okay. But on the till now, where
Impact
is the
of their specific task on the, I think, empowerment, obviously. Review the project's current progress and just the delivery, the organization's strategic goals, conduct a session with key stakeholders to verify that the project and delivering aligned the organizational to focus on expediting the completion of the project to meet the organization. I think conduct a session. Assuming responsibility for project already in its development phase, a project manager start by the project owner to guarantee that the project's outcome are closely aligned with the organizational objectives. What is the most effective action the project manager need to ensure this alignment? Conduct a session with key stakeholders to verify that the project objectives and deliverables align with the organization program. Review the current project's current program and just conduct this. Arrange a facilitated meeting with the engineers to mediate the conflict and identify a collaborative solution that align with the project objectives. Engineering conflict. Okay, there is some conflict going on. Allow the engineer to continue the de-escalate the issue, assign the day. I think this. A project manager notices escalating tension between two engineers over the approach to creating an infrastructure design to implement this conflict and the team can resolve on its own. Action should the project manager take to address this issue effectively? Arrange a facilitated meeting with the engineer, mandate the common and collaborative solution, obviously always announce. Develop a comprehensive project schedule to ensure the initiative is completed on time. Assign responsibility to engineer, begin executing the project task and read with community engineering to understand the engineer and gather input for the project plan and focus on acquiring necessary. I think community stakeholders, we should understand their point of view. A project manager is overseeing the launch of a new community health initiative and aim to provide mobile health clinics across undeserved areas. Given the project scope and the community's urgent healthcare need, the project manager needs to establish a strong foundation for the influence of the project manager prioritize as the first section. Obviously, he should engage with this community stakeholders to understand their needs and gather input for the project plan. Obviously. Hire additional team member early in the project to mitigate risk associated with the key personnel departure. Create a comprehensive knowledge sharing system to document critical info. Raise the salary and background team member to ensure the commitment to the limit critical to online. I think comprehensive knowledge sharing system. During the launch phase of an innovative tech startup, first major product, a pivotal member of the engineering team decides to leave. The team is left scrambling, unable to proceed smoothly with missing information. What could have done before to prevent such a bottleneck? Create a knowledge sharing system to document. Obviously, if some person leaving, that knowledge should stay back. So, for that, we need to create a comprehensive knowledge sharing system wherein we can document the critical insights and processes. Work with the team to break down the project scope into smaller, manageable milestones. Assign the team to each agent to implement know, extend the project timeline to elevate the pressure and allow the team to work at. Have the team do meetings on technical detail to provide clarity and reduce uncertainty. Have the team do meetings on technical detail. I think work with the team. Launching a complex project to upgrade the IT infrastructure across multiple international offices, project manager noting that project team is apprehensive about the vast scope and type. But action should the project manager take effectively to manage team concern and ensure the project manager work with the team to break down the project scope into smaller manageable and assign team management, stand project down, elevate the pressure and allow the team to work at a more comfortable pace. I think work with the team. Assign a dedicated liaison for each stakeholder to streamline the communication and approval. Develop a detailed project timeline focus on phase completion deadline to manage. Facilitate a stakeholder alignment session to clarify expectation. I think this can create a contingency to address this. Infrastructure digital for multinational chain. A project is set to deploy a series of upgrades in stages, with each phase requiring approval from pivotal stakeholder before. What pivotal action should the project manager take as an initial step to ensure seamless progress and alignment with stakeholder? Facilitate a stakeholder alignment session. This clarified the expectation priorities and approval criteria for each. A comprehensive technical report detailing the legal compliance requirement and their implication on the project scope. A financial impact analysis focusing solely on the additional costs resulting from the compliance adherence. A timeline revising explaining how the compliance changes will extend the project value. A concise assessment highlighting the compliance changes, the impact on the project and the proposed adjustment to the address. I think this we have while implementing this software to streamline the operations in a logistic company, the project manager expected legal command that necessitated a significant project timeline. What type of progress updates should the project manager prepare for the? Obviously, it should be concise, not a comprehensive, or not a time revision explaining, no financial impact analysis. Concise assessment wherein the impact and proposed adjustment should be there. Rely on development team expertise to determine features and enhance the user experience. Schedule regular user testing session to gather feedback and integrate into iterative development cycle. Focus on delivering the full project scope before evaluating its impact on user experience. Establish a rigid development plan to prevent delays. Adherence to schedule over feature refinement. I think last two is not an only round of feature regular user weather feedback. Team is developing a new software tool and how the online education and project management must ensure the considering improvement to user engagement online the obfuscation. Schedule regular user testing session to gather the feedback. Reassign the engineer's responsibility to other team regardless of their expertise to maintain law. Conduct a thorough risk assessment to determine the impact of the resignation and revise the project plan. Immediately escalate, halt the project. So conduct. Pivotal and recognize for the uniform designs and some due to corporate downsizing. What should the project manager do next? Organize a formal training program for employees to understand and apply the new framework in the frame. Rely on departmental heads to inform their team about the new framework. Publish the documentation company-wide and encourage team adoption. Pilot program to test the integrated framework on select projects before a full-scale rollout. I think this leading the initiative to revise the project management framework within a multinational corporation. A project manager has finalized the integration of both waterfall and agile method into the company's project management practices. Upon completion of this critical documentation, what should the project manager's next step to ensure effective adoption across the company? I think organize a formal training for employees to understand and apply the new framework in the project. Either it's first or fourth and five most as integration framework select program. No, formal training should be the answer. Expedite deployment bypassing final core. No. Communicate with the CEO to explain the risk of rushing deployment and propose a review. Focus on meeting the citizen even if it requires so assign additional escalate final media citizen. I think communicate with the CFO. And the final phase of a manager software development, the project manager is under pressure from CFO to provide the final to enable financial capitalization of the project. What should the project manager prioritize to ensure the project concludes successfully? Communicate with the CFO to explain the risk of rushing the deployment and propose a realistic timeline for ensuring quality. Assign new roles and responsibility to team members to refresh their engagement with the project. Offer additional incentive and bonus to boost the team morale and encourage it. Facilitate an open team discussion to identify challenges and collaboratively address barriers to motivate and focus and foster performance. The project manager observed a decline in team motivation and focus on project objectives, leading to reduced productivity and collaboration. To address this, the project manager evaluates strategies to re-engage the team and improve. What is the most effective action the project manager to enhance the team commitment and alignment from facilitation of manage, motivate and focus?
of any vendor, right?
Implement a quality management plan that define clear QA process and ensure adherence to all the project life cycle. Schedule additional QA team resources to conduct more to ensure adjust project timeline to allocate more time for quality and provide performance and to training. I think implement quality management plan. During the final stage of a software development program, the QA team multiple critical work during the final round of testing, delaying the planned deployment date. Upon review, the project manager determined that earlier testing cycles were inconsistent with some key quality standards not applied. What should the manager? He should implement a quality management plan, obviously. Separate the team members by reassigning one of them to a different time to prevent others. Facilitate a meditation session with both the team members to collaboratively identify the root cause of the disagreement and agree on a resolution. Escalate implementers. I think this. Two people are consistently in disputes, jeopardizing the timely completion of the month. Maintaining a project undertaking obviously mediation session. Increase the number of tasks assigned to each team members. Conduct a retrospective meeting to identify and pending the team performance. Implement the team members. The project manager knows that the team's performance has declined significantly. This is reflected by lack of progress on the project Kanban board and burn down time that is slower than expected completion rate for tasks. How should the agile project manager effectively address the slowdown in team output? I think there should be a retrospective meeting to identify the obstacles. A stakeholder register to ensure all stakeholders are informed of this project's progress. Stakeholders registered have the information about stakeholders. A project timeline to track milestones. A requirement traceability metric to link requirement to testing and the stakeholders. A risk register to identify and mitigate risk associated with testing missions. Okay. During a critical phase of a software enhancement project, a prominent stakeholder points out they have not been updated on the progress of functionality testing. Upon receiving the overdue reports from the project manager, it becomes clear that a critical feature pertinent to the stakeholder domain was overlooked in the testing process. But which project management tool could have helped the project manager avoid overlooking the crucial features testing?
The answer was given to my concern was okay. I got it. In the ideal scenario, it is fine. I asked for the consent. I got the data. I got the data on my email, right? Currently, we don't have a CRMS.
Requirement
Team leads are
traceability
involved, right?
measure
CRMS is over there.
testing
NC
and the
where we collect the data digitally. So we don't collect the data digitally. While digital, I'm not including the email system into it. Why I'm putting it like the email is digital, but I'm saying why it's not
I
digital
think
because
traceability
it is
metrics because
there is no
when we
government
break down our
in the panel.
WBS
If Ziad has the
and
job applicant, he will have a lot of resumes. He will have on his email. He will have their qualifications, their degrees, their
I
work
think it's
experience.
traceability.
How do we ensure that they
Personal
have created
communication
those
corporate counsel
qualification on
Sherlock.
his system?
In the midst of
Not
software
using it. So
development, a
let's say if we
critical
are talking
third
about
party
those
service
data,
provider
it's
now
still there on
bankruptcy
the
rules
email,
by
right?
design.
We cannot ensure
Which
it that
project
it is
artifact
important or like
would be the most
have delegated. Maybe we have given the consent to the third party, third person, job applicant or whoever, that we are keeping your
risk
data for the
register?
same. If your job candidature is considered
Assign a
legal,
representative
like
from each
legally
community group to
and
join the
approved,
project
then
team to streamline
but
decision making.
for
Schedule a
example,
town hall meeting to
the
resolve
that
communication at one and online project home, create digital
technically we have these
and
two
document
people
how updates will be
in
shared,
that
conduct a
job
stakeholder
applicant.
to categorize
Apart
and
from this,
understand the
we also
influence
have
and
the
interest of
implementer. We
each
have the
community.
QA or QA
During
for
the
the same.
construction of an urban park, the
Still,
project
how to
manager
ensure
discovered
that
that
we
there
are
are
creating
multiple
those
communities
emails that
recommending
together
actions.
from these
Efficiently
stakeholders
managing
is what we are missing.
interaction without compromising on collaboration but initial access to the he should conduct a stakeholder analysis obviously. Instruct the project coordinator to stop sending update immediately to avoid further confusion. Convene a meeting with the project coordinator, align on the communication stand. Consistency moving forward, take over responsibility for all stakeholder community to centralize update under the project manager control. Expand the coordinator's new and treat it as a
convene the meeting. In the midst of an extensive urban development project, the project coordinator independently began circulating a new weekly newsletter to subscribers. Project stakeholder handling as Simon. This initiative was not coordinated with the project. Some stakeholder to express confusion about the consistency of information, and similar updates are not being received from the other parts of the what is the most effective course of action and meeting with the coordinator. Insist on continuing with the monthly report. Adjust the communication plan to include bi-weekly briefings for the department head. Split the difference and propose a tri-weekly update. Include both a monthly report and bi-weekly briefing.
Yeah.
Okay. During the initial stages of an education reform project, the project manager discusses communication preference with the head of the education department.
Yeah, but
The project
इधर
manager
क्या होगा
proposed a
वो
monthly
एक
comprehensive
शेड्यूल
report to
वाले
keep the
लाइक
department head
मंथली
informed of the
एनुअली
project development.
वीकली
However, the department
एंड
head suggests they would rather receive information through
so
bi-weekly
what I
briefing,
was
knowing that
asking
it
is
would
like you
keep the
said that
better
single pager HTML application you
updated on the
suggested.
project plan. What
We
is the
have
most
this kind
effective
of
course of action for the project
systems
manager to align with
applications
the
where
department head's
we can
preferences?
collect all the data. It will go and save into our database, and whenever the transaction between that person and
Monthly
our
report
company
provide extra
gets
communication
over and it gets
extra
implemented,
communication term
it automatically can be taken
showing the preference
from
and
there.
split the difference in
Is this possible?
okay.
No. So why we have a
I
copy in
think
our laptop? because why we don't have it? Because
it's
if in
very
case there are
tricky.
colleagues like previous colleagues
We
who
suggested
left,
project manager
let's
suggested a
say
monthly report
only the authorized
and
persons
the
can have the
department
access
head want bi-weekly
that particular
briefings.
repository. Then it will be a very minimalistic
Include both
content and we
should be
can
an
use
answer
that anytime.
for maximum
Yeah, we
transparency.
can even see into the content
Acquire targeted
where
training to
even
equip
we
the team
can
with the
we can
necessary while
be
managing
relaxed
project timely effectively. Assign the
towards
team to tasks
the document. So
related to the
it's
technical.
it's kind of wherever we can
Client
see
revised
any
the
kind of
project scope to exclude the technical technology,
language
outsource the design component. I
specifications
think acquire a targeted training sessions.
and
Project
that we can do
in the renewable
in
energy
that
sector is
particular
tasked
course.
with designing a
Something
new
which is
solar
required
power
in some
installation that incorporate
in some
innovative
kind of
tracking technology. None of the
environment.
members have prior experience with this specimen. They are eager to learn, but acquiring the necessary could potentially delay the project time. Address this change. I think acquire the targeted trainings and to equip the team with the necessary while managing project timely effectiveness. Encourage the designer to reschedule their participation in the workshop until after the project is complete. Reassign the designer critical tasks to collaborate with the designer prioritize outside the remaining graphic design work. A larger scale event planning project enters into its final phase. The lead designer informed the partner they have been accepted into an advanced design workshop which coincides with the project's most demanding period. Should the president ensure the project's key deliverables are not combined, encourage them to reschedule the participation in the workshop
Yeah,
until
that
after the
suppose
project
we
is
are
completed.
using company
Reassign
then
the
we can
designer, collaborate with the
we don't
designer
have
to
kind
prioritize,
of
create, deliver, outsource the remaining work.
SMMS and or CRM.
हैं?
We have ERP system which is called
Um,
PMP.
project manager they have been
We
accepted
have
into an
we have
advanced design workshop.
Yeah, and then integrate that with your platform, and then we will.
Collaborate, although I don't like this answer, but obviously first is also a good option, but I don't know why. Let me just go with the third.
Yeah, okay, let's move to the avoid this call very long. We are gonna disengage. Step out.
Define scope only at a high level and leave detail to determine during the project execution. Incorporate iterative review of scope and throughout the project to adapt to for financial start of the environment, delegates for management. Moving from managing traditional construction to outsourcing agile environment, given the innovative nature of the incorporate iterative reviews of
Like you
scope
have continuous with your delivery
and delivering coordinating out of evolving requirements. Request a formal change request to address the project timeline and account for delay. Collaborate with contract stakeholders and develop corrective action, delegate responsibility, and implement penalty system in the execution phase of large-scale development project with multiple contractors and stakeholders. The project is experiencing delays in meeting critical milestones. To navigate these challenges and collaborate with contractors. Collaborate. Create statement of work outlining vendor expectation, conduct a market adoption and negotiating competitive term, long-term partnerships in the vendor streams and prioritize everything the lowest budget, market analysis. Require periodic update to cloud-based service from multiple vendors. The project manager is on about securing competitive rate due to high consumption. What are favorable terms and future agreement? Says to compare vendor offerings and negotiate competitive terms. Introduce EVM to integrate financial metrics with focus exclusively on financial metrics to align with CFO's plans. Replace traditional reporting with a job rundown. Plan iterative plans, simplify requirements, reducing the environment for the milestone completion. In a meeting where the project manager presented late updates, the CFO explained concern on several business statuses from on target to at risk. The financial department is accustomed to traditional financial metrics and forecasts and wishes to retain this insight while improving visibility into project health. What method should the PMO adopt to enhance the reporting of the project performance? Introduce EVM to integrate financial metrics with project performance indicators. I think hmm. Conduct a preliminary timeline analysis with the project to explore flexible scheduling and organize a risk identification with key stakeholders to pinpoint and evaluate potential. Record the sponsor function as a risk in the risk register, analyze both its impact and likelihood, propose a phased implementation strategy, consult with regulatory community to understand the review process and potential impact. At the early stage of planning an IT infrastructure upgrade for a large corporation, the project sponsor is worried that the projected completion timeline might overlap with a critical period of regulatory compliance review. What steps should the project want to mitigate this concern? Consult with the regulatory compliance to understand the review process and potential project impact. Organize a risk identification workshop to evaluate the potential risk. I think is this the same? Yeah, it's a repeat. Showing long-term plans and no. This is the same question. Yeah, I saw it. While managing the development of a new e-commerce platform, the client requires the addition of a custom payment integration that wasn't originally scoped. Upon reviewing the request, the project manager determined the required API documentation from the payment given not available in time, potentially causing development during the project was appropriate. Next step for the project manager: inform the client that a custom payment need not be accommodated due to the release. Submit a formal change require outlining the impact of additional on the service. Peer experience, peer experience developing with new hires to increase knowledge sharing and strengthen team cohesion. Focus on the new hires and by adopting cutting edge technology as the primary. Learn the experience time while the project sidelining the new hires into the task, organize separate workflows so experience and new hires can live on their respective independently. Operational steps implement mix of the company's traditional and development of new hires building cutting edge technology but implementing the company's financial success. Yes, they should make a bit hires based on their skills. Proceed with integration testing using stimulated environment to reduce dependency on the client's IT and delay the testing phase until the IT department has resolved the issue. Requires that the client hire additional IT department manage their workload, collaborate with the client IT team to prioritize tasks and allocate resources for the integration testing phase. Project manager overseeing the integration of a new technology software system that coordination between software development team and the client's IT department. The client's IT department is currently overwhelmed with the other critical tasks causing delays in the integration. The more that the streamline collaboration. Gantt chart, risk register, stakeholder Pareto chart.
have some startup on top of your mind as of now?
Status. Taking charge on project management to understand project current program in terms of tasks and milestone completed, ongoing activities and upcoming work. Gantt chart.
Okay, so you'll be doing it by the patch, and all of your your clients will get the same update. What about the specific customizations? Like, let's suppose if we want to have something specific for the cost India only, not as a yeah, yeah. Will it be chargeable?
Hmm.
Yeah, I understand the patching that will be for all,
Except the
there is a
client's timeliness,
specific
implement aggressive
requirement
measure to meet the bit
only
risk quality no present a delayed and the
maybe
online analysis having key
probably
constraint
yeah,
and
but
potential risk of mismanagement,
not
suggest
every
reducing the
MNC,
scope, agree to
right?
deliver a
So
program by platform within 3 months to maximum progress while continuing full
one
implement.
of the largest group
Our client
so
requires the
the
early
technologies
completion of a new software platform within
requirements
3 months and is in
which may
agreement to
mostly
accelerate the timeliness. Okay.
make sense for us, not for your other clients. In that case, how you gonna take care of those requests? And
However,
really,
after
I
assessing
will
the
tell you
project
one other
complex
thing.
and
This is
project manager
something which
determined that the platform will
very new
realistically
for
take
some,
up to
very
6 to 9 months to
some
complete
things
the
that
even with additional
the
resources. Our
customized
actual
for
to the
us. And when I say customized, we can
present a
also
detailed
mention
analysis and a
gateways
realistic
or
time.
something like that. Maybe I don't know.
During the
Anything.
crucial phase, ask the expert to join the project team temporarily to provide address to the request the expert to provide detailed wrong perspectives. Arrange for the team to meet with the expert to discuss the text and assign the team to research and review independent over additional expenses.
Okay.
During a crucial phase of a
Yeah,
green
updating is a part of the initial
energy project, the
but
project team
the
encounters technical hurdles in implementing a novel solar panel design. An
only gets
internationally
the
recognized
customization
expert in solar energy
the specific
technology
customizations
will be
will
available
be set by
nearby
PMP.
for a
So
short
that
time to
if you are
nationally
getting it
recognized
at the
expert in
PMP level,
so we can arrange a team with this. Schedule one-on-one. Schedule one-on-one meeting with the developer to cover business content and show estimation for the development of the social instrument providing assign and method enforcement data. It's frequently absent from the critical design review sessions for extension requirement to ensure flow to cover the business content. Ensure alignment and methodology for the development investigation. To the client with the analysis, potential analysis, given the opportunity to sit at the current proposed private implementation, present the opportunity, obviously. The completion
You should present the opportunity obviously. Document the project for the quality
Not that much. So in terms, in these terms, you may say maybe
increase the frequency of
8,000 or more than that as of now. But the data size alone, when you set up a database, should be only 8,000. Anything you would need to know the domain name, where we should, with third parties, where we share our data.
in managing a series of environmentally sustainability plan, project managers advise shown that the estimation schedule to conduct environmental management and available. This leads to rapid critical one of the most important cause of profession for the environment requires an extension to create planning for the conservation delayed engage in implementation hospital and in the task to implement renewable sources postpone the environmental management focus on environmental conservation.
बहुत सिंपल
I think postpone the assessment and continue with the
मेरे
other
पास मैंने अपने
activities.
एक्सपीरियंस के हिसाब से आपको बताता हूँ होता क्या है
And
होता क्या है कि हम
implemented parametric estimation technique, cost reference, cost performance, and CPI to pinpoint variance. When historical data from similar panel, apply bottom up. Taking charge of a new product launch in project midway, a project manager discovered that the AVM analysis indicators SPI of zero point 0.7 for the investment really reveals that initial time estimates were made based on generic industry in December.
वो ये क्या करते हैं, ये इनका टूल जो है ना, उस पे जाके उन पे जाके फिर बताता है कि भाई सीआरएम से ये डेटा आया, मैंने ऐसे किया,
Bottom.
10 मिनट में इसमें ऐड करा, 10 मिनट बस डेटा जब मैंने 10 मिनट ऐड किया, अब एक
In
काम करना हो जाए, मैं बोल
preparation of an upcoming executive review of a critical infrastructure project or project management. A corporation has approved project to explore launching a new product line in one of the several potential markets. The project manager is tasked with conducting initial research to compare the feasibility of developing a new manufacturing facility versus partnering with the local member. It is the most effective method for the project manager to assess these options. Conduct a call benefit with the project team to compare the financial and non option use brainstorm with the project to generate innovative for marketing performance relationship for each option to evaluate internal external feasibility. Consult only with senior manager to reform and pass with the corporation's vision.
अभी मेरा वो रहता है हिसाब किताब, मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि टूल एक ही हो और बाकी सारी चीजें मैं लगाऊं, आपस में मेरे अपने आप में।
Cost benefit analysis should be done. Facilitate a pilot retrospective session and invite them feedback. Give feedback on spectrum before filling a bi-weekly retrospective, enforce mandatory and trespass from based on and written survey focus on project management, facilitate a pilot retrospective. Project manager design the introduce bi-weekly sprint retrospective. While the project oversight moves forward, some development team members are resistant, citing concern about the potential for timing or course of action. Should the project manager take to ensure that but obviously assign the task to the most senior member to ensure accountability and experiment. Delay the task until ambiguity naturally resolved. Facilitate team member and force response between the task and taking the task and assign. Uncertain the amount of assignment of a major task with a large scale and obviously facilitate the team discussion. Empower team member to make decisions within their area of excellence. Have the plan manager for the overall coordination, retain decision making authority for all engagements, resign as a continuity to use daily meeting to collectively decide on knowledge and ensuring no rejection. Leading a remote development team of an innovative software project, the project manager will use a trust built with the team over several projects. While the project demanded quick adjustment decision, but delegation approach to the project was utilized to maintain project momentum. Empowering the team. Just use this. Empower the team. Let's use this. Use an emergency fund to conduct an impact on to evaluate how the project goes and deliverables or as risk from to care for the quality of set aside emergency and he should conduct an impact analysis. Schedule a weekly executive meeting to provide real-time memos, share a detailed project schedule with explain highlight program, prepare a comprehensive report summarizing the constraint challenges and use EVM metric to provide a detailed overview of the project and forecast. In response to inquiries from financial department about the progress and expected budget usage or for key functionalities in a high profile tech project, project manager is tasked with providing clear reassurance on value management metric to provide a data driven Um, this is taking so much of time. I think people who fail in the PMPs because it's such a time consuming uh, paper, and going through over the questions, a person feels very like low in energy and they lose interest. To be honest, I'm just losing my interest, so I'm just going to submit my 100 questions, and then we'll see what is the percentage that I got based on the 100 questions. And after that I'll do the part 2, which will be from 101 to 180 questions. So I'm not sure about this, uh, what should be the answer. So I'm just using this EVM because it has like more components and everything. NIT implement a time box sprint system to manage tasks in fixed interval, adopt the agile Kanban technology methodology to improve flow and manage work, shift a traditional project management for stricter control over tasks, utilize a phased gate approach to process service requests, and say an IT agile project team is struggling with handling a variable volume of requests ranging from simple inquiries to complex system errors. Their current workflow is not flexible enough to adapt to the peaks and causing backlog issues and customer dissatisfaction. What workflow strategy should the project manager advocate for? I think time boxing. Introduce a competitive incentive to encourage individual learning and mastery of the software. Partner with the software vendor to provide customized and training for the entire team. Outsource the task and extensive use of the until the team become proficient. Implement time-based learning sessions and encourage mentorship between experienced and experienced.
After analyzing project performance metrics, project manager notes a decline in efficiency due to the limited experience with a recently adopted project management software. Budget for the project is very high, but exception to amount of adapting efficiency issue. Partner with the software vendor to customized on-site training session for the entire team. In the development phase of a new software tool, an unforeseen technology shift threatens to render the project's output less relevant than initially planned. The organization's leadership has signed the need for immediate reevaluation of the project strategy. Continue with the development, initiate a rapid prototyping. Fair requires an increase in budget, convene a strategy session with the instrument to assess the project direction and make necessary adjustment. Reassign non-current supporting team or contractor to alleviate the workload on the core team. Temporarily pause the project to allow time for annual placement. Send project and redistribute online equally among the remaining team members to ensure fairness in workload distribution. The launch phase of a product development project is ended due to certain departments, several key engineers, the rest of the team facing challenges covering the increased workload, causing a notable delay in the project time. What action should be taken to mitigate the impact of this?
सबसे पहले जो है वो लिंक लिंक शेयर होगा, ठीक है। लिंक जैसे ही शेयर होगा, लिंक शेयर होने के साथ साथ ही उसके पास जो है ना वो फॉर्म चला जाएगा जो हमें चाहिए।
Extending
जो हमें
the
डेटा उससे
timeline, I think
रिक्वायर्ड है
pausing the project is
उसके
not a
पास
good thing.
डेटा
Reassign
है
non-critical
और
or
उसमें
supporting it
मतलब
doesn't make
एक
sense.
डेटा है, मतलब एक डेटा
Temporary direct
मतलब
project into the
क्या है हमें
dynamic
डेटा
with
चाहिए
sponsors
है
may engage in a
और हम
comprehensive time with the new
कितनी
hub and
तारीख को
commit
रखेंगे
enter
तो
into the
तो
project strategic plan, organize a project showcase of
ये नहीं होगा।
the new small
अभी
highlight and
परफॉर्मेंस
achievement to
यही
date
चीज़
and,
हमारे
and
पास
conduct
देखने को
immediate
मिलेगा
team
कि
way to impress
डेटा
the
हमारे
new.
पास आ रहा है, उसका चैनल ही चेंज कर देंगे आप, लेकिन उसका चैनल
In
चेंज
the
नहीं करेंगे।
midst of
अगर
an
कई बार
ongoing
हमारे
plan, the
पास
client
कभी
or client
अगर
program
मैंने
leader
कभी ये
has a
किया था कि
directly
हमारे पास
affect
ईमेल से
project
ही हुआ है,
sponsorship. The new sponsor expresses a desire to review and potential revise project.
तो अगर
Should
हमें
the
पहले
project
ही पता है
manager take in
तो फिर
response?
कोई
Engage in a
नहीं है, डेटा
comprehensive
हमारे
dialogue,
पास है,
obviously.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, हमें डेटा नहीं चाहिए, हमें डेटा
What
चाहिए,
action should the project manager
कोई दिक्कत
take?
नहीं।
Reallocating from
लेकिन
lower
अगर हमें
priority
डेटा
tasks to
चाहिए
accelerate work or mitigating the
तरीके से
impact, extend
कि
project
भाई
timeline to
7 बजे
commit
को
the delay
कोई
caused by
है
the
तो
deprecated tech.
मतलब
With
कोई है
additional funding,
मतलब
conduct a
कंपनी है
collaborative meeting
तो
with the
क्या
team to assess the plan and determine the best course of the plan need to adjust the time to ensure the project
जैसे आप ईमेल में कुछ बोल देते हो या कंपनी में फाइल रखते हो
deprecated
तो
and
जैसे
causing
उसमें से
delays.
कुछ
We
निकल
need
आता
to
है ना
initiate a project newsletter to
ये
provide regular updates.
तो
Assess the
वो आ
communication
जाएगा
need
क्या
for
है
inclusivity of all
हेलो
stakeholders.
हेलो
Implement a cloud-based
खुद
management
करेगा सिस्टम मैं काम कर रहा
tool
हूँ
to centralize all project
और
updates
इसी के
and
अंदर
information.
जो है आपका
Series of personal
सीएमएस जो है वो
myths of
मेंटेन
a
करा देगा
digital project management
जितना काम
discover the
होगा
communication background have led to some stakeholders being out of the loop and project involved across multiple international companies.
इन्फॉर्मेशन को भेज देता हूँ ना अभी ये अपडेट करके
What
तो मैंने
first
अभी ये खोल लिया
assess this obviously communication management.
नहीं उधर से क्यों मना करेंगे, हम ही मना करेंगे, लेकिन वो ना एक फेयर प्राइस दिखा दिया तो
Global software development project. A project
उधर
manager
से
facing
वो
challenging with
बोला तो वहाँ से
challenges
मैंने पैसा
with
नहीं दिया
team members across
उधर
various
नहीं दिया
continents, resulting in difficulties with meeting
क्या हुआ
attendance,
वो
varying
सात
internal
परसेंट प्रोजेक्ट पूरा
connectivity,
हो गया
quality,
लेकिन
and
वो काम नहीं
occasional
कराया
language
उन्होंने
barriers. What actually should the project be? Testing by
हाँ
communication, check
इसलिए हमने
project issues,
क्या
schedule a
किया
recurring video
मैंने बोला
conference,
कि
implement a
जो
rotational
दूसरा
leadership,
है उसको
stability in communication management plan, and time zone,
ये आपने
online
इसको
forum with
ये अगर
business
इसने
async.
लिया या बात करनी थी तो वो दूसरी कंपनी थी, वो एक और थी जो आते उसमें लिस्ट में
Outline
वो क्या
forum.
नाम था उसका कंपनी का, उसका नाम बताओ, उसका पता नाम
Let's
था
go with this.
करके कुछ था।
Now let me just submit it.
हम्म?
Uh, I have done like 100 questions, so let's just
इसके
see.
बाद ना मार पकड़ेंगे, इसके बाद नहीं
Yes.
मजे मारेंगे, समझ रहे हैं। आपने गलत वाला और मैंने कोई लिखा दो बार
Okay,
आपने एक
let's
करके
just
एक बार
go
याद
to the
किया
last question
एक
and
बार
then
नहीं किया,
submit.
यहाँ पे कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं, इससे अच्छा है कि वो दो बार एक साथ लिख दें।
Okay, just submit. So let's see how many marks I got. Oh, I got 80%. Yes. Although the score is 44%, but I did 100 questions and got 80%, which is quite a good number. I'm really happy with these numbers. Thank God. Let's just take a look at the feedback report.
ये हम अपने आप से कस्टमाइज करा सकते हैं क्या 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 चाहिए इसमें
Hmm.
है ना एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड वर्क एक्सपीरियंस
So, in
आपको इस वगैरह कैसी
protocol is
है
part of,
आपको
okay, see, we missed on
कैसे
this.
रहेगा कौन सी
Strict
चीज़ें आपको
adherence
सेट
and
करनी है
guidelines and
ठीक
protocol
है
is
तो
part
एक
of corporate
कैटेगरी
culture.
तो ये
Project
है
manager is attempting to implement a flexible,
पहले
agile
सबमिट
methodology
है
for internal software development. Despite
इसमें क्या
providing training, the team provider has not met in team of favor to the
इसमें लिखा है हमारे डेटाबेस में जाना है
encourage and
और
mentor
वहां
the
से
team to
इनका फीड
progress.
जो है
Shifting to
जो
an
भी
agile
जो
method in a
डेवलपर
rigid
है
corporate
उसको
culture,
चाहिए
more than just training, it demands a
मैसेज
change in
सबको जाता है
mindset. By
नहीं
mentoring and
सर
guiding the
ये
team to
डेटाबेस
focus
है
on achieving
आपके पास
project
कंपनी
outcome
का
rather
जैसे
than rigid
आपके पास
adherence to
प्रेसिडेंट के
process
साथ
and
लिंक है
project manager
जिनको
fosters
आपने ऐड कर
adaptability.
दिया
Okay,
जिनके थ्रू
they
पैसा
have
मिल रहा है
already
और
mentioned
वो
that they have
एडवर्टाइज करते
given the
रहेंगे आपको
training.
ट्रेनिंग देने की जरूरत है
So mentoring should be the right option. Okay, nice.
ये फर्क है
It says that the client emphasized that the website must outperform their main competitor online in terms of design and conversation rate. The client wants a projecting and ensemble and to commence with the project scope, with stakeholder and determine the process for formal acceptance.
अच्छा अभी नहीं किया मैंने है ना अभी करूंगा अभी तो ठीक है ठीक है अभी नहीं किया अभी
Okay,
मतलब उसके बाद
with
आप
the other
सुनना
options are like crafting and
है ना सर पहले डिजाइन करो फिर उसके बाद
analyzing is helpful but should be done within the scope. Okay, okay,
मुझे
okay, okay, right.
अभी ये तो अभी नहीं कर रहे हैं अभी भी यार मेरे को ये तो प्रिविलेज देनी चाहिए खुद बुला रहे हो है ना
Okay, right. Before doing the scope, we should not analyze anything. Okay.
नहीं है फायदा सही बताऊं मैं आपको मैं सिर्फ एक थोड़ा सा लाइफ स्टेटस थोड़ा ठीक रहेगा यहाँ पे
Project
कंफर्मेशन
manager
रहेगा
has been
कुछ बच्चे
appointed
बच्चे
to
आए
spearhead the city
अदरवाइज कोई फायदा
backlog
नहीं
and the
है यहाँ
assignment
हमें
of table.
बाहर से आया
Funding assignment to take prior to the project. Ensure all plans are integrated and project report is that all plans including scope, schedule, resources and risk management are integrated and aligned. Okay, this ensures the stakeholders and team members have a shared understanding of object expectation constraints. Should be begun earlier in the resource planning. Okay, fine tuning.
मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि अगर किसी तरीके से थोड़े ज़्यादा भी पैसे कमा लिए हमारे थोड़े दिनों में तो पैसे होंगे अपना आके मोटा पैसा लगा के अपना फुल टर्म को भी अकाउंट खोल लेगा
Initiate comprehensive agile training program to provide the team with skills and
यार बहुत ज़्यादा महंगा है भैया इतने ही पैसे देते हैं वहाँ पे लेकिन महंगाई को बीट नहीं कर सकते भाई वहाँ पे ऑनलाइन करके
provide the team with assignments.
लगभग 30 30 लाख रुपए
Okay.
सालाना तो घर मिल रहा है यार
Tutorial.
किराएदार हो किराए पे तो यार
That the team fully understand
तो ये मुझे तो बढ़िया लग रहा है ये वाला और वहाँ पे किराएदार खाने का इंतजाम हो गए बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़िया हाँ अगर गीली भी जॉब करें फिर तो मतलब 24 30 नॉर्मल
practices
है
effectively
एक आदमी को
by
क्या चाहिए
investing in agile training project
ठीक है एक ही बंदा चाहिए अगर दोनों जॉब करें
Okay.
अगर एक ही बंदा जॉब कर रहे
Somehow
हैं
I
तो फिर
got
तो
the gist
क्या
of
है
like PMP. I'm able to break down the questions into a form that is helpful. What the project
वही तो है सबसे बड़ी बात वही ये मिले तो अल्लाह ताला ने सबक बना के क्यों दिए
Okay,
क्या हो जाएगा अगर जॉब
but
नहीं की
why don't we review before taking corrective action? Okay,
छाछ की बात चालू है वो बाद में
okay,
पता चला
we need to
7 दिन बाद
assess the
मान
risk.
लो नहीं वो है मुझे थोड़ा सा ना क्योंकि उसके इंटेंट से वो लग रहा है जब बुलाते टाइम इस तरह कर
Team management plan में formal person hierarchy and proven change by abandoning this plan can ensure that the following the establishment will maintain okay. It has a framework.
क्या आप यार कल बस में बैठे हुए हुए तो जो यहाँ पे होगा ना उसे उसे भगा देना बोला ये सही काम
Okay,
किया था
now
उसका
thorough
ऑफिस आ गया तो
stakeholder and planning.
ये बंदे
Understand the internal expectations. Okay,
अब फोन पे पकड़ा देना
okay, right.
वो कंप्लेन ना करवा दूंगा और उसे चुपचाप कह देना कि देख बेटे अगर जेल से बच रहे हैं ना तो तुम्हारे हाथ बात नहीं करनी
Okay.
चलिए ठीक है भैया वेट करते हैं इसके उसका जो ये भेजेगी ना फिर उसके बाद एक बार कुणाल से यार फाइनलाइज करा लो भाई बहुत ही टाइम लगता है यार स्पीकर ऑन करके दूं क्या दो यार
Sign to 11 where it could be clearly assigned as limited.
चलो जी बोलो जी हेलो कुणाल बढ़िया आप कैसे हैं खाना बहुत बुरी तरह आपका पेट दुख रहा है कभी आप ही जला रहे कभी ये आपको हरा रहे यही चल रहा है बस है
Session system.
वही क्लियर 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 भी कर लिया कोई नहीं आप लोगों ने
Okay. Delve into their.
क्या स्कोर रहा है मेरा
Okay.
यार क्या स्कोर रहा है किस स्कोर से हरा है कोई जरा स्कोर तो ठीक तो होगा ही यार लेकिन बीच में कुछ कर गए थे जैसा मीडियम था वो अच्छा तो ठीक गया था उसका दूसरे एंगल में काउंट करो
Statement of work, project, and the learning time.
दूसरे स्कोर पूछो अरे उसमें क्या था कि सुप्रीम जो है ना एक फ्रस्ट्रेशन में फंसा हुआ था ये समझ गया आप पॉइंट तो उसको खेलना नहीं चाहिए था ना उसका आराम से होना चाहिए था
Statement of work बनाना चाहिए उसको ठीक है.
अगर एक जीत जाते तो बराबर हो जाता गेम प्लेड छह तो में अगर एक जीत जाती तो बराबर ही समझ रहे हो 3-5 हो जाता तो मुझे हराना एक उससे भी ऊपर जाएगा तो ये रिसीव करने वाले पर्सन बैट्समैन के साथ हो रहा है ना ये समझे तो 8-0 वाला तो नहीं बताया मैंने 8-0 से हारा था 8-0 वाला नहीं बताया मैंने आपको बताया मैंने कभी आपसे ना अब 0 तो पूरी दुनिया के हाथ से 8-0 अरे समझे ये तो ऐसे ही लगाते जैसे कोई गेम हो
Pairing the experienced professional with new hires fosters knowledge sharing and ensuring the team benefit from both the familiarity. Okay. Engage in
नहीं जो एक
to
और
address
अभी
this.
बात करके आए ना
Critical and often everything and relying on recurring this task unified person. Okay.
तो दूसरा कौन सा है
Understand
वो है
how to demand the necessary to prevent delays and
जो
ensure assessments are
पूरा सिस्टम
conducted
प्रोवाइड नहीं कर
properly.
रहा
Okay.
जो हमें चाहिए ना सिस्टम इसमें ना इसके 3-4 पार्ट है कुणाल
Agile Kanban
एक तो है
technology
इसमें
to
लर्निंग
improve flow
एनवायरनमेंट
and manage work in progress.
एक है इसमें
Kanban
CRM
is ideal workflow for handling
एक है
variable work volume
इसमें
because it
क्या
focuses on
बोलते हैं
visualizing
प्रोजेक्ट
task
रिपोर्टिंग
limits
और एक है
and information
पूरे
progress.
कंपनी का
Kanban the
गवर्नेंस मोड
team
तो ये
can
चार
manage
पार्ट
agenda
चीजें हैं
and
इसमें
prevent
ठीक है
bottlenecks and
जो ये
dynamically
हमें प्रोवाइड
punctuate
कर रहा
this.
है ये वाला जो है ये इन्होंने कुछ बोल दिया लास्ट में
Implement team-based learning
ये
session
हमें
and create
सिर्फ
mentorship between
टूल प्रोवाइड
experienced
कर
and
रहा
less
है
experienced
जिसमें
user.
जो
Okay.
है कंसेंट मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम और
10%
गवर्नेंस सिस्टम
assign
सिर्फ
ongoing
CRM
to
ही है
supporting team with the plan to elevate the workload
ये
of
तो
the team.
सबसे मेजर पार्ट है तो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा जो सीआरएम वाला पार्ट है उसका मैनुअली
Avoid
करना पड़ेगा
burnout among the
जैसे हमें अगर वेंडर का डेटा कलेक्ट करना
okay.
है कस्टमर का करना है बोनस का करना है
Take.
लीव ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स का करना है जो कि
So
आप
I
बहुत
did
टाइम
great.
लगेगा
Hopefully it is helpful for you two people, and I'll post another video for my 80 questions later. Bye.